Hey guys, Trinidad Controls FNG guy here. Today I wanted to make a little video on kind of the tools of the job for building automation and controls technician. So, going through school and stuff, I had a lot of questions on what tools do you need to get the job done every day. And, after being there a few months, I've kind of found a good system, and I'd like to share with you guys kind of what I got going and what I have here. So, starting off, I got a hard hat because we're working in a lot of construction areas and hard hats are required by the foreman and generals on the job, so definitely need a hard hat. Next is a good pair of steel toe boots. You definitely need to have some safety boots and shoes. I have the deep heel for ladder climbing and stuff, so definitely recommend those. Next I got my new toy here, which is the Milwaukee Fuel M18 driver. It's the new brushless driver that Milwaukee makes. It's actually really nice. I love it. It's got the 3 torque settings, as you can see there, 1, 2, and 3. It also has the battery indicator telling you when your battery's going to die. And then yesterday I went ahead and purchased this chuck adapter for it right here that actually allows me to convert my driver into actually a drill bit. So I'm able to put in my unibit and different drill bits that won't fit into my 1/4-inch driver. So that was actually pretty nice. It's actually made by Milwaukee, along with my Irwin number 4 step-up bit that I use quite often. So that is definitely a handy little piece of tool that I look forward to using. Next is going to be a headlamp. I definitely recommend getting a headlamp because you're going to use that a lot. You're working in a lot of dark spaces and stuff up in mezzanines and different crawl spaces and roof houses where you definitely need some lighting. So definitely recommend getting a good headlamp with extra batteries. Next is a fluke meter, because you're definitely going to want to know when something's hot and when it's not, and make sure you got the right voltage in your panels and stuff. So definitely a good fluke. This was actually one that I had handed down to me. And next is a dummy stick. I mean, they're not reliable, but they're definitely good to have to give you an idea if something's hot or not. I mean, they're called dummy sticks for a reason, because you're a dummy if you put your life in their hands and trust what they say is gold. So, but it's definitely a great tool to have to see if something's hot real quick. Next is some zip ties. I definitely use these a lot, tying up wire and stuff, all their control cables and network wires. So I definitely go through a lot of these in my work week. I use the cable ties that you can screw down into your ducting and stuff, as well as just regular standard cable ties. Next I have some variety accessories from Milwaukee. I have a Shockwave big kit that has different accessories and stuff in there, along with I got my Phillips bit that changes out to whatever I need. Next is my 1/4-inch drill bit that I use a lot for drilling in duct sensors and stuff. The next tool I use a lot is my extension for getting into places I can't reach with my impact too easily, so this definitely gives me a little more reach, and definitely a good tool to have. Then you definitely want to get a brush, a couple different brushes, because you're going to be doing a lot of drilling and have a lot of metal shavings, and you definitely want to get rid of those. So when you're brushing out cans and sweeping out electrical boxes, you definitely want to be able to brush out all your metal shavings and stuff, and having a good brush is definitely handy. And I got a pair of gloves, just some cheap gloves at Target, but they're definitely nice when you're pulling cable and stuff and you got tons of snot or whatever on it and you can't get a good grip. I got some fishing gloves and these actually work out pretty well for pulling cable, so I definitely like those. Then I got a little pouch set at Home Depot that I carry all my, this one I have all my fittings. I have some poly fittings as well as some nut screws and some butt fittings and varieties of different fittings in there. Then I've got a couple more bags here that came with this set that have just all my self-drilling screws for drilling everything in, and then I got another bag with various fittings in it. Over here I got some pens and paper and stuff. You definitely need to carry a Sharpie. I got the ultra fine Sharpie for writing on wire and stuff, so I'm able to identify what I'm running and stuff. I'm able to identify all my different network wires and my 2 conductors and 4 conductors. and label what's going to the supply and return and stuff. So definitely having a good Sharpie so you can mark your wires. Highly recommend that, because nothing more frustrating than having to go back and open stuff up to trace all your wires out. And then extra batteries, as I said before, you definitely want to have extra batteries in your pouch. Then you want to have a measuring tape, because you're going to need to measure stuff and take different measurements for mounting sensors and whatnot. So definitely a good tape, something to have. And then I got my little, everybody thinks it's a little Bible, but it's actually just a little notepad that I take various notes in and stuff throughout the day, and also write down my time and job numbers. So that's a good thing to have. Then I got this little paintbrush to clean out electrical boxes as well and get all my metal shavings out of there and stuff. Next I've got a level. You always want to carry a good level with you. Definitely a magnetic one, so you're able to put it on conduit and boxes and make sure everything's level. Next I went with the Klein screwdriver set, because, you know, starting out in this industry I didn't want to buy tools over and over again. So if you buy the good stuff out of the gate, you're not going to have to replace it for a while, and you'll get your money's worth out of it. Whereas if you go to Harbor Freight and buy something, you know, it may last, it may not. So I definitely went with the $49 screwdriver set from Klein that includes the seven different screwdrivers. I've got the extended standard flathead and Phillips, as well as the number 4 set of the Phillips and the number 4 flathead as well. Really good screwdrivers, really comfortable feel in your hand. And then these two are probably used the most, because I use them to open up J boxes and 4S boxes and stuff all the time. So, and putting in screws and face plates on and stuff. So I definitely use my number 3s a lot. And then I've got a couple drivers that I carry with me all the time that are pretty common that I run across for VAVs and stuff. I carry a 1/4 and a 5/16 nut driver with me from Klein as well. I use those quite a bit. Next, I carry a little crescent wrench, because it's always good to have when I'm running across a VAV or something that I don't have a right size nut driver for. I'm able to use a crescent wrench to get something open. Then you definitely want a good knife, a blade to cut, in case you got to cut various things open or whatnot. So I definitely carry a little blade with me. Next, I got this little thing that I started out with as my landing screwdriver, but kind of use it now just for tightening up VAVs and stuff. So handy little tool. Now this is probably one of the tools I use most. This is just a little screwdriver I got at Home Depot, but it's a speed chuck screwdriver, so you're able to spin it in your hand as you're landing wires in your controllers or various devices. So it actually works out really well, and it has the various bits and stuff that you can change out from Phillips to standard. But definitely recommend getting one of these, or a few of them, because you will use that a lot. The next tool I got is the Klein Journeymans, and you know, I started out with the regular Kleins, and I found that the Klein Journeymans are just a lot more comfortable. You know, I got the Klein cutters here that have worked out really well for me. I love them. Definitely worth the money you spend on them. And then I've got a pair of Klein needle nose. Definitely handy to have. They're nice for punching out holes on J boxes and stuff when you need to put stuff in them. So they definitely come in handy. Definitely another good tool to have. Next tool I got over here is my Klein crimpers. I haven't been able to get the Journeyman ones yet, but definitely use these a lot for doing insulated and non-insulated butt splicing and stuff, so they're definitely a good tool to have. Next, I got a pair of channel locks, or I'm sorry, a pair of vice grips. Definitely a good tool, opening up VAVs and ducts and stuff, so I use this a lot when I want to set a dampener open or whatnot. I'll put a screw in there and kind of just set my vice grips in there and open up the duct. Then I've got my Journeyman linements. These ones are really nice for pulling wire and cutting wire, and definitely a good plier to have. Repairing your fish tape, but definitely recommend a good set of Klein linements. You can't go wrong with those. Solid, heavy-duty tool. Next, I got these strippers my foreman turned me on to. They're actually a really well-made set. I've actually had a lot of luck with them. They've worked out pretty good for me, and they're I don't know if we can see here, but they're called the pad-in tools or whatever. I don't know, but it's I got them on Amazon. They were a set of 2 for about 20 bucks, and this one's actually 10 to 24 gauge and works out really well. And it's got the lock. And here's my channel locks. I just carry a 9-inch set of channel locks with me. They're kind of nice for locking down fittings and stuff, so definitely use those quite a bit. Now over here, I decided to go with a tool belt because I started out with a bag and it just wasn't comfortable carrying a bag everywhere. It was too heavy and too bulky trying to carry a driver and a belt, or a driver and a tool bag, so I went with the belt. It's a lot easier to carry. I just throw it over my shoulder or put it on my waist when I'm climbing ladders, so I like the tool belt idea personally, and definitely electrical tape. This is one of my prides here. This is what I use the most. It's going to be my my LED Maglite Pro. It definitely puts out quite a bit of light. And then I've got my got my Leatherman Surge here, and it's been a great tool. I use this daily. So that's pretty much an overview of what I use every day. I mean, any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll try to add some more and do a little more review on all these items. Thanks for watching.